Welcome back to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I, of course, am your host, KC Phoenix. And it's Monday, August the 8th, which is the Lionsgate portal. So I'm manifesting good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. That's why I'm looking at everything half full right now. So I had a fire at my place this weekend. Public service announcement. People who smoke, especially cigarettes, please make sure that you put your cigarettes completely out when you throw them away. If you do not, they can create fires. Please know that. I am a witness. So, I'm going to go ahead and go to the footage right now because I took footage of it. And then after I finished that, I gave the whole spiel of, the podcast website and blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to come back and then I'll update you. So, to the footage. Okay, this is me recording. This is the damage that was done. If you see right here, the firemen, I literally have a truck of firemen outside right now. They were all in my apartment. And apparently, this is why you should pay attention when you put out your cigarettes. It looks like someone had set a cigarette down and it got down to the bottom. Like, you see where that black part is right there? It got down to the bottom. Maybe I should turn it this way. This would be better. And then it started burning. I was wondering where the smoke was coming from because I could smell it, but I couldn't see anything. And I thought it was something crazy going on with the air conditioning. But I was like, okay, well, no, that's not it. So then I kept looking around and looking around and looking around. And I'm like, why do I keep smelling smoke? So finally, I moved my love seat from the wall. And then I noticed, like, right here, smoke, because all you see is the filling and everything else. Smoke started coming from this bottom part, like this part right here. Smoke started coming from this, is what started happening. So what I did was I went to my alarm, because everyone who follows my podcast knows I have a security company and they deal with police, fire, medical, whatever. So I hit the fire button on my pad, and then the lady called back after I did that within like less than, so shout out to Vivint. Thank you so much, Vivint, because she called back and I told her what was going on. She's like, okay, well, go ahead and get out of the place. When I tell you that the firemen were here in less than 5 minutes, they were here. And also shout out to Dallas Fire Department as well. But this is what's going on. Somebody apparently did not put out their cigarette properly, and it started burning, and it had been burning. One of the firemen said it had been smoldering for a while, and then that's how this started to happen. It was burning on the outside, and the smoke was coming inside. And then the fireman was telling me, luckily, I was at home, because if I wasn't, he's like, the entire building could have caught on fire. But what they did is when they came through the door and I was explaining where it was at, they had something called a thermal whatever. And then they were looking at the wall with this device that they had. And then they got the axe and all this other stuff and started knocking all of this out of the wall. So all of this they had to knock out because they were trying to figure out, where is this fire coming from? Now, also, like I said, I thought that it may have been something related to the air conditioner, whatever, with the wires. But he was telling me, he's like, no, there aren't any wires right here. He's like, the wires are on the other side of the room. So he said this didn't have anything to do with wires. It was more than likely something related to someone not putting out their cigarette properly or something of that nature. As you can see, that burning right there on that side. And then, that's how the smoke was just coming in. But luckily, the entire building did not catch on fire. After they knocked out the wall, all of this is on the floor. Usually my modem is right here to the left hand side. It's usually right, or actually no, my modem is usually on this side. The wire, the plug goes around. But when they were knocking all of this out, so the insulation and all of the wall stuff is on the floor. Is what's going on. So I will be talking with all the appropriate parties. I'm waiting on them to bring me some type of report or something like that right now. And yeah. This is too crazy. All I can do is laugh about this stuff, man. All I can do, because being upset is not going to help. I have to keep telling myself the universe is conspiring for my highest good. That's what I keep telling myself, because literally this just happened, and then a few days ago both my parents got C-19. So yeah. And then I have some other little side drama going on too as well. But it's just kind of like, man, it's life. There are people who don't even have clean water right now. Luckily, my apartment, my condo, whatever you want to call it, is still in one piece. I still have food. I still have water. My bed, my electronics, my electricity is still on, as you can see. So, yeah, I just have a big hole in the side of my wall. Is what's happening. So, yeah, I just have a big hole in the side of my wall. Is what happened. So yeah, that's kind of it. I'm gonna go ahead and get going. KIRWKC.com. I feel like I'm in the field reporting or something like that. Maybe this is my audition tape for a local news agency or something. Coming to you live from Dallas, Texas. But yeah, all good. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Until next time, be blessed. Okay, so looks like I'm a regular handyman now. I bought the heavy-duty stapler. I bought duct tape as well. And, of course, this plastic. It's like a heavy plastic to do the insulation until the people come out and fix this. But I did 2 layers. I was about to do 3, but I changed my mind. I'm gonna tape this up too a little bit more. But yeah, as you can see, I got this, and then obviously this is where the hole is at. And I have to work with the rental company and get all of that stuff done. When I spoke to the fire inspector, he said more than likely it's going to be the rental company or whoever who covers it, and not necessarily my insurance, because technically I wasn't at fault here. I didn't do anything wrong, but we'll see. I'll call my attorneys tomorrow, because today's Sunday. So I'll call them on Monday and get their input on it, because, always got to get the legal opinion and do that. So I got to see what the attorneys say. And then hopefully we can get this fixed very soon, because having a hole in my wall is not the best thing in the world. So now I have to mop the floor, because I have hardwood floors. So I have to mop the floors and clean up. I got all of the drywall out the floor. It's like the firemen came in and tore everything out to try and find where the fire was coming from, and then they're just like, okay, here's your report, da 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 da, and everything else. But all of them were very helpful. All of them were very nice. It was like, how many firemen was it? I want to say 5 firemen. It was definitely 4 minimum, but I'm pretty sure it was 5. It was 5 firemen that showed up, and all of them were very nice. I interacted with 3 for sure. interacted with 3. The other one was in the truck most of the time. And I feel like there was another fireman. And then the 2 inspectors came out and they asked me some questions. He asked me my age and I forgot for a second. Because I was like, wait a minute, how old am I again? So yeah, that happened. But this is what's going on for right now. And yeah, just wanted to show this to you, and back to the show. Okay, I'm back. So you had seen the footage of that, of where it happened at, and how everything, pretty much, the firemen knocked out my wall, part of my wall, trying to get to where everything was at. So that happened Sunday. Monday, I'm actually preparing. I'm going to prepare for work in a minute. Usually I take my shower and then I record, but I'm like, okay, let me get this done now and then hop in the shower. So yeah, that's kind of my mindset. I had to go to the grocery store because I had to buy some Febreze and some white vinegar because the smoke smell was still in my place. I have an air purifier, and believe it or not, this is so weird. Everything worked out perfectly. The air purifier, I've owned this thing for probably like 8 months, give or take. And I've never used it. It's been in the box. I kid you not. Never used it, been in the box. And every time I look at it, I'm like, okay, I spent $200 on this thing and I'm not even using it. And one of the biggest reasons I bought it is because you don't have to change out the filters on it. You only have to clean the filter on it, and that's it, and then put it back in and you're good to go. And it has the UV light and all that stuff. So I hadn't used it. Well, I was like, okay. I pulled it out yesterday because again, I smelled smoke and I didn't know where it was coming from. So I was like, okay, where's the smoke coming from? It's like, well, if it's not coming from inside, because sometimes stuff can get into places. And it's like, all right, well, this would be a good time to use it. So I took it out, set it down, and then I was about to start it up. But then I was like, okay, let me look around, da-da-da-da-da-da. And of course, later on, that's when I discovered the smoke was coming from the bottom of the floor, from under like the panel and everything. And then that's when I went to my security system and then hit the alarm button. And then of course, the firemen came out like so fast. I was shocked how fast they came out, but pleasantly surprised too, you know. And yeah, but the box that the air purifier was in, all of that stuff from what the firemen had did, from what I had shown you, all of that fit perfectly in that box for me to throw away. Glass half full. I was like, wow, this box is perfect for me to put this debris, or whatever you want to call it, where they put a hole in my wall. Because that's what the firemen did. They're pretty much like, because I guess the fireman's job is to make sure the fire is out, and that's what they did. They figured out where the fire was coming from. They knocked a hole in the wall, put some type of chemical down as well, and then I guess water too, maybe, and did some other stuff. And then that was it. Then obviously I had to wait for the inspectors to come out. They had to take a look. And then the inspectors talked to me. And after that, they were like, okay, deuces, we're out. I'm looking at my floor with all the stuff in the floor that I had shown you. So I'm like, oh, I have to clean this up. Okay. You know, and it all fit perfectly in that air purifier box. And then I just was sweeping and doing my stuff, and then I put it in the garbage can. Then I had to run to Wally World. For those of you who don't know, Wally World is Walmart. So then I had to run to Wally World and get the plastic and everything else, which I've already showed you that too. Because I made a small video clip of that, and I showed you how I closed up the hole, blah, 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 blah. Well, I woke up in the middle of the night, as I always do, and I was like, wow, I can still smell the smoke in here, even though my air purifier was on. So I was like, okay. So I'm on Google. I'm like, does Febreze work on smoke? And then all these other things started coming up. So it's like, use white vinegar and let that simmer to get the smoke, to neutralize the smoke smell. Also, something I didn't know, you can, if you want to get a smoke smell out of your house, you can use charcoal, believe it or not. Like bowls, small bowls of charcoal, and set them in your house, and the small bowls of charcoal will absorb the smoke smell. So you can do vinegar or the small bowls of charcoal. I wasn't about to do the charcoal thing. I wasn't about that life. So I went to the grocery store not too long ago. I got 2 things of Febreze. I Febrezed all of my curtains or drapes or whatever you want to call them. And then I got a big thing of white vinegar. So I'm about to mix that with some water and boil it. And that's going to be that. Then I have to start getting ready for my day. My internet, my regular internet is out, my broadband internet, because when the firemen knocked out the hole, where the coax cable is at for the internet, ever since they left, my internet was out. And when I called Spectrum was like, yeah, it's been out for 3 hours. I said, but there weren't any wires there. And I said they were at least 6 inches or so away from that area. So I'm like, it's just weird that it went out. So they're sending someone out this week to fix that and look into it so I can get my broadband back. So this might take a little bit longer to upload because I plan on using my cell phone to upload. So we'll see how that goes. That's kind of where I'm at. I can't believe that I am a news story again so soon. I promise you, I'm not doing this stuff. The reason it's sort of like half full and I'm in that energy is one thing I always noticed is that when bad things happen, blessings usually follow. When bad things happen, blessings usually follow. Because it happened for a reason. And to be more detailed about something, if it was meant for me to know that this was going to happen, I would have known it. Because on Saturday, going into Sunday, I don't want to get too detailed because I don't want to put this information out. But there was something that I was expecting and I wasn't sure. Well, I had a dream about it Saturday night or Sunday morning. And when I had that dream, or you could say vision, I was like, okay, I guess I need to look into this now because I just had the vision about it, or dream. And sure enough, it happened like my vision said it did. Because the divine wanted me to know, hey, you need to check this. A totally different situation. Kid you not, I'm not making this up. Totally different situation. The divine was like, you need to check this. So I was sent a dream, and sure enough, when I checked into it, everything was there. and it worked out, and it was amazing. It was very beneficial for me. So thank you for that. Shout out to the spirit team. So with this, I honestly feel that if it was meant for me to know that, hey, you might want to check outside because somebody doesn't know how to put out their cigarettes. And it's going to create some issues and put a big hole in your wall. I would have known about it. So it's all good. Everything's good. I still have my electricity. I still have food. I still have water. I still am able to stay in my place. Everything is good. Everything is great, actually. And I'm thankful for that. I do what I always do. I mean, one of the cards that represent my sign in the tarot deck, one of many in the major arcana, is the Chariot. I'm just going to keep going. That's what I do. That's all you can do, is just keep going. So yeah, just wanted to give you this update on the fire. Everything is good. I'll keep you posted, and We'll see what happens, because we're going to have to get, I guess, the construction people to come and fix the wall and fix the building and do all this other stuff. But at least the fire's out. All good. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Until next time, be blessed.